In the first 30 days of each year, if you haven't learned these skills, then you have to do this. So most of us, including myself, every time a year starts, we write ourselves some goals, things we want to achieve before the year ends. And surprisingly, sometimes when the year ends, we don't have enough time to look back and see what we would have done and what we wouldn't have done so that we know what to carry on to the next year. But I figured out these 3 things to be helpful a lot in the past 3-4 years, and I have used them multiple times now to the extent that I don't have to do them every time I start my year because they're now part of me. So here are the first 3 things. You need to learn how to see the world in a different perspective. You have to find out a way to look at things and see it from a different angle. This will help you to just lay off things that are useless and remember what is important. It also helps you to focus on what you really need to focus on and not everything else. Every time you look at a crisis that happens, you have a very bad experience in something. Don't look at it from a bad perspective. I understand that we have emotions and sometimes it's just too hard to look aside. But I'm saying don't dwell on it for long. Just, if you're able to, take the shortest period of time dwelling on that thing, because it's not going to help you in any way in your life. So get closure and move on. Move forward, get something to do, continue with that. See the world in a different perspective. When you don't have money, think of the world like this. I don't have money right now, so what can I do to make that money? That will help you a lot, other than saying, why is it I don't have money? Is it because of this person or that person? Or is it because of this reason or that reason? That will not help. Honestly, that will not help. The first thing you can do, I don't have money. So the next question is, how can I get the money? Simple like that. Make your life as simple as possible. See the world in a different field. You need to be resilient. Resilience is when something happens to you and you just decide, well, it has happened, but I'm still going to go forward. Whatever has happened to you, you're still going to go forward. If it's a setback, if it's a fall, you acknowledge that you have had a fall and you continue going forward. The more you do that, the easier it is for you to improve, because we all fall down. But the next thing is, do we rise up and continue walking, or do we stay down and go back to look for something else to start again? So consider this. You're in a race. You've run about 50 meters halfway through the 100-meter race, and then you fall down. And then instead of continuing, you said, no, I don't think 100 meters is mine. I think I have to try 200 meters. And then you go back to the starting line, because you cannot start your 200 meters 50% halfway the 100-meter race. You have to restart the whole thing. And before you know it, you wouldn't have done any progress when the year ends, because you would have restarted and aiming for a 200-meter race. So when you fall, just rise up and continue going. Remember, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So when you fall, you're not going to lag behind that much. Just rise up, continue going. You'd be surprised where you are. Besides, this is not your race with other people, it's your race with yourself. So keep that in mind. Be resilient. Whenever you fall, rise up and keep going. Try this in the first 30 days. Trust me. The last thing, you got to be as creative as possible. The reason why I'm saying this is because for you to find things to do, for you to be able to continue when you fall, for you to find out a new method when the old one fails, you need to be creative. You need to let your mind explore different opportunities and different possibilities. Here's another reason. Whenever you fall down, you might not find the solution in the place you're expecting. So the only way you do it is to have an open mind. And when you have an open mind, you explore different things. All right, bonus point. Take your life as a book, okay? And each year is a chapter. So if you have 90 years, you got 90 chapters in your book. That's perfect. That's fine. If you got 50 years, you got 50 chapters in your book. That's still fine. We have a lot of books, different chapters, different number of pages. That's fine. Take your life as a book. Each year is a chapter. Each month is a page. And each day is a word. So make sure that each day there is a word that's written in that book. By the end of the month, you have 1 page. By the end of the year, you have a full chapter describing what you'd have done that entire year. And by the time you die, you have a perfect book ready to be read and improve other people's lives.